Hello everybody, it's CoronAfro again, and I'm back this time to do the video, which basically is the main reason why I did all these videos in the first place, and also what I feel will be the most important video for anybody to watch, as it relates to everybody. If you've watched the first two, brilliant. If you haven't, maybe watch them first to get some context, but it really doesn't matter. This is important. So it's all about lockdown health, and I'll give you a quick intro in case this is the first video you watch. So we're currently in lockdown in the UK, and this is sort of a guideline to help everybody down in lockdown, mainly because aside from all the pamphlets you're going to get and the fact that it's going to be very obvious that people are going to be asking loads of questions, and you will get answers maybe on the news or on the internet, things that people might not cover as much as they should is things to follow in relation to mental health. And if you watch the last two videos, you'll see that my biggest complaint from all of this was how the media and the government have unfortunately put us in a position where it's affected our mental health a bit worse than it probably should have, had it been more prepared and also a bit more unbiased. So I'm going to go ahead, as I say in the other videos, time is of the essence, and also says the quality. And I apologise if my phone keeps moving, but we're recording this on a phone to a laptop. There's not much I can do about it. It's not like I can get deliveries from Amazon because deliveries are down. Anyway, so I have something that I call the immune system rules, which is great because it's a play on words. If you haven't already figured it out, write it down and stare at it for 5 seconds. And it sort of goes like this. Let's dive straight into it. So basically these are my rules to kind of helping stay fresh and also looking after your immune system. Why do I say immune system? Let's get into it. So number one, my first rule is be fair when shopping. Now obviously let's cover the obvious. People are panic shopping at the moment. Not necessarily today. I'm hoping it's calmed down by now because it's gone past the first day or two. But however, as I covered in the last videos, due to the fear that's been presented in the media and the amplification that's been caused by the government being uncertain about stuff, people have ended up panic shopping because everything seems dreadful and there is no guidelines that really help people other than just sort of fend for yourself at the moment, which is a shame, and I'm sorry that that's happening. But in this time, it's never been more important to be fair to each other. If you want to get what you want to get, you need to make sure that you're leaving for other people what they want to get as well. Otherwise, the system's not going to work for either of you. Another point is that suppliers and distributors are fluctuating. They're low and high. In other words, people that sell food and other stuff to shops and shops themselves are going to have lots of stuff in sometimes and not a lot of stuff in other times. I know that toilet roll is down, pasta is down, hand wash is down, so be very careful about that when you're going to shop. And also my advice on that point is to ration what you've got, not like it's wartime completely, but it is a good guideline to go by. I know people are joking about that, but seriously, rationing is some sound advice at the moment, especially with those type of products I've just mentioned. But just in general, it's good to have rather than to need at this point. Another point for shopping or when out is that personal space and the manners that come with it. So I've been out shopping a couple of times. I've had to go and grab some essentials. It's taken me 2 weeks to get loo roll. I just nearly ran out. I was down to a couple of rolls, but I needed to go out and get it, and I finally found it in one shop after going to about 5 or 6. So thank you to that shop for having some in. But basically, while I was moving down the road, somebody was coming and walking towards me, a woman with a dog, and she saw me coming. She saw that I made a way to present space on the path to let her pass as far away from me as I could, just in case. And she, in turn, walked down and actually cut into someone's driveway to allow me space, and kind of very openly gave me a hand signal to let me pass. I said thank you and carried on. Those kinds of manners is what's going to get us all by for 2 reasons. Number one, it's polite. 3 reasons then. Number one, it's polite. Number two, it helps solve the situation easier without us having to hesitate and feel awkward. And number three, if you're going to feel like everybody's out to get you because you're infected, or that everybody can be infected. It's going to help dispel that kind of primal instinct to distrust or feel awkward around people from that aspect too. So simple manners and smiling at each other, brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I've said it earlier, but I'm going to just expand on it a bit. Take what you need from the shop in terms of rationing, not just at home but at the shop. So taking what you need allows other people to take what they need. Now, this is how I've worked my formula. It can be different for you. Everyone has different lifestyles. But the way that I've seen it is I take what I need per week for non-perishables, so things that aren't going to go off, things that I can save for a while. I'll take it for like a week's worth, is what I did initially. That means it can last me a week or more, because not everything you should need should probably last you a week. There's certain things that are going to last you a lot longer, like maybe some tins, maybe a bag of rice, for example, will probably last you a lot longer than a week, depending on if you're varying your meals, or if you can vary your meals. But those kind of foods there, you get what you need. Well, obviously, I suppose I need to talk about the fact that there is a limit on certain products you can buy. So if there is a 2 at a time thing, alter it accordingly. But if they are perishables, like if they're fresh things that are good, that are going to go off, I tend to go every 3 to 4 days of stuff for fresh, because 3 to 4 days is generally how most fresh things seem to last for before they start to decay and stuff like that. Okay, so that's pretty much, just generally being fair when you're shopping, just being mindful and being kind, being wise. Right, so our second one over here is keep your eating, sleeping and exercise routines. Now, this is where we start getting deep into why I'm talking about the immune system, because positive frames of mental health combine with our diet and the things that we do to keep our immune system strong. Now, beating this virus, if you've watched my last videos, they're working on vaccines, great, but we've covered the fact that other coronaviruses don't have vaccines, and we're not just going to rely on them. The people that have recovered so far have recovered solely based on their immune system, and there have been a lot of them, which is great. We like that. And so other coronaviruses and other viruses in general, where there's no vaccine, what doctors will do, or what they'll encourage you to do through the things we're about to go over, is to strengthen your immune system so your body can fight it off. And you do this through eating properly, sleeping properly, and, well, the exercise bit we'll get into. But this is why this bit is crucial, not only to your immune system, but to your mental health, because not a lot of people are going to be used to having isolation. Now, this is where I get deep, and why? Well, because CoronAfro Summers is a schizophrenic, and I'm a schizophrenic, which means that I have, the aspect of my schizophrenia means I am socially isolated more than most. I spend weeks in at home. I only go out for what I need to buy, or to go out maybe once to a quick leisure, but I'm there and back, and I've always got my headphones in. I can't really relate to people at this point. I won't go into it too much. I am working on it, but it means, even though that it's got its disadvantages in life, you might have heard some of it in the other video when I was trying to do initial shopping, when people were panic buying. It has an advantage here, because I can tell you how I get by. Let's go. Okay, so eating. Now, eating is going to be, again, we're going back to the immune system. So eating is going to be a case of eating routines. Now, I'm going to say what I feel is an opinion. Everybody's bodies works different, so this is a general rule. The things I never seem to tell you about diet when it comes to people trying to do weight loss and kind of nutritionalize themselves and stuff, is everybody's body is different. Some high metabolism need more carbs. Some people who have more muscle need more protein. Mineral deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies. Know your own body. You know it, because these are the things you do every week. But nevertheless, let's get general. So eating. With regards to the immune system, we need to tick some boxes. Now, I've just basically highlighted 5 areas of things for you to think about. I'm going to blast through them quickly because we're already at 9 minutes and I don't want to make too many of these videos. So, 5 areas. Number 1, carbohydrates. Your sustaining through the day, your engine food. Number 2, protein, your muscle food. Number 3, you've got your vitamins. So we're talking about your fruits, and some of your vegetables. Minerals, the same thing, fruits and vegetables, and also different types of stuff, but would be in general. And number 5, I think I've just said, if I didn't say 1 to 4, I do apologise. Number 5 is liquids. And everyone forgets about liquids when we talk about food, because hydrating is very, very important. Now, let's get back to the main point. When it comes to food, you know what you're going to buy. But here's my advice to you. There's 3 things that I just want to point out on food. Number 1, cook what you can with what you have. Now, as I say, besides panic buying, right, we know that supplies are going to be low out there, so you're not always going to get everything that you want, right? Now, generally speaking, my advice to you, and I won't go into it too much, is to stick what you usually eat with, because your body is used to that. Don't go swanning off and getting stuff unless you have to, because your regular stuff isn't there, and then alternate. But keeping what you get encourages a more sustained diet, which allows your body to just sort of chill out and relax and keep fortified with all the goodness that you're giving it, right? But whatever you've got, just deal with it. So, like, don't get down if you go out and you can't find fruit one day or vegetables one day, or you've gone out and, you know, there's not much meat out there. For example, I've gone out and I eat chicken and fish is my meat. I've gone out but sometimes and they're not there. So what did I do? Well, I just went and grabbed a little tuna can. It's not the same. It's not going to do the whole thing, but it's tuna. So it's fine. At least there I'm getting my protein there, and at least I've got a little bit added. Even if I'm not ticking off these things that I'm talking about that help my immune system, at least I'm coming back with a bit of food. I'm not going to starve, and that's the base important thing on that point. So accept what you've got and cook what you can. Days can be stressful. Sometimes you're going to be tired, sometimes you're not. I know that some people are eating out at the moment. By all means, do it if you trust it. However, you are more likely to know what your food's like if you cook it from yourself from scratch. I'm just advising people. I do support businesses anyway. I'm sure they're complying with health codes even more. Next point, fruits, veg or salad. Now, fruits, veg and salad for me are the key, because there's so many different things to do with vitamins and minerals. I'm actually in the process of doing loads of research on it, because when I had initially went to go and do this channel, I wanted to start doing more about fruits and vegetables and vitamins and minerals and different stuff, because they really help apply goodness to different parts of your body vitally. And the reason why I say fruits, veg or salad is because these are the deficiencies that lower your immune system tend to be in vitamins and minerals more than other things. That's just my opinion. I'm not a dietitian. But I say fruits, vegetables or salad, because you're not going to get all 3, and don't be disheartened. If you go out and get a piece of fruit, brilliant. If you go out and get some veg, maybe just a cucumber, brilliant. If you go out there and you get a bit of fresh salad, brilliant. I understand that people have problems with contact, so you might not want to get loose stuff, which is better for the environment, but right about now, with people touching stuff, you might want to just get stuff in packet. So, like, for example, I used to get loose tomatoes and loose potatoes. I've now stopped for a second, just because handling stuff, contamination, risks. That's just my opinion. You do what you want. There are ways to sterilize food that is bought loose, but again, we won't go into it right now. Do with what you can. Moving on, I'm just going to say something right now. Whether you agree or disagree, this is my opinion, and I think there's enough science to back it up. Breakfast is important. Always have breakfast. The day will go how the day goes, but always wake up and have that first meal of the day, because that is going to apply not only to your energy for the day, and also your outlook, but also your mental health outlook. Because having breakfast, having that first meal of the day, waking up and knowing that there's food there does wonders for your health. And so these are the things on the food. Yes, sleeping. So, know your sleeping routines. Now, I know we're at 15 minutes, so it might be a case of me talking about sleeping and then having to come back and do the others. Sorry I talk a lot, but I feel it's important. So, sleeping is vital to the immune system. Again, as we said this earlier, it all fits in to having a sustained routine. Sleeping helps you relax, and sleep is brilliant. And why? Because sleep is connected so much to stress and stress management. It's unreal. Let's go through these bullet points, hopefully, in the next 5 minutes. So, first one, stick to your routine and don't be afraid to set your alarm. Right, so everybody may find that they're not going to, well, I say everybody, majority of you aren't going to school anymore, majority of you aren't going to work anymore, majority of you are probably sick, right? Now, with sick people, it's probably easier to sleep more. Sleeping more off, your body will let you know if you need to do oversleeping. Don't worry about this one so much. But for general good health, stick to the routine you always did before. And the reason why I say that is because, again, it's a mental health thing. Being used and familiarising yourself to what you know, and also your body is used to knowing how much sleep it needs to recover from the day before, especially if you're starting to fight off an infection. With the alarm thing, it's to combat depression, because with depression and anxiety and other stuff, we're going to start seeing erratic sleep patterns. You might be up later, maybe worried about something, or up later having to deal with calming down from the day's stress and stuff like that. And so my advice to you is always to set that alarm for when you get up. Now, that is based on your circumstances. Don't get me wrong. If you have only got 3 hours to sleep until you usually wake up, and you've got kids, it's not happening, right? I get it. But where possible, always do it, because your body will adjust to how much you've slept. In other words, people often think by not sleeping and then waking up at that time that you've missed out on sleep, when this isn't the case. I mean, it is in practice, but the point is that your body wants to go to sleep at the same time every day. So you might be tired that day, but your body still says, I go to bed at X time. So if you do that, your body will adjust, and you may have a granddad nap throughout the week, who knows, but your body will adjust itself accordingly. And also, fundamentally, a lack of sleep can be affected by your diet, by exercise, and by stress. So if you're not sleeping a lot, find out why, or try to vary stuff to find out why, and then maybe use this guideline to go over it. Okay, so exercise. Now, this is 17 minutes long here. I do apologise. I really didn't think it would be this long, but I'm going to have to separate this into 2 videos as well, where we'll cover exercise and my other 3 rules, which I'll try and be quicker with if I can. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm so sorry about this camera, because it keeps moving off to the side. But again, I've apologised enough about quality. I've only got a phone and a laptop. So I'll go ahead and stop this, and I'll record the next one straight away. Thank you.